And I think one of the key magic things that I came to know it lately, like 5-7 years back, that there is a real enemy of growth. And this real enemy is hitting everyone in the world. And it is very simple as word, but it's very negatively impacting every one of us. And this is ego. Ego prevents you from admitting things. Ego prevents you from accepting mistakes. Ego prevents you from changing yourself, transforming your thing. I look okay. I am bad. I did the right thing. They are mistaken. It takes you into the blaming cycle. It takes you into the complaining cycle. If our ego step in, your mind shut off, your emotional come up, and then you don't do the right thing. So I always keep this. Like, I have emotions, but my emotions should serve my mind rather than the other way around. We need to train ourselves, because I dropped in this cycle. That's what I'm saying. It's not like 100% happening, but I'm aware when it happens. And I punish myself with this post. Like, I put it in front of everyone. Guys, be careful, because this is how it is. Don't be emotional. Don't get into the stress zone or in the comfort zone. Keep yourself in the stretch zone. Try to stretch the stretch zone so you're always growing, rather than getting into the stress and your emotion takes over and then you're done.
Essam, are you ready to unleash?
I'm very ready. I was waiting a lot to do that.
It's my pleasure, Essam, having you today. Essam, if I do remember, like maybe 5 years ago, if you remember, we had some call over the phone.
Yes.
When I was in Saudi Arabia, and I was intrigued by the inspiration that you have done in terms of going to public speaking events and sharing your knowledge in terms of supply chain, out of supply chain. But I believe always there is some reason behind doing what we're doing today. So I'm really intrigued and inspired to know what is the reason behind doing what you're doing today in terms of supply chain and in terms of public speaking.
Thank you. In fact, the thing which is motivating me is mainly the purpose. What I'm doing that is I'm driven by leaving an impact on people. I feel very happy. It gets real, genuine pleasure to see people succeeding because of something you did for them. Maybe a smile even. You can do a smile for someone and you turn his day on. Imagine if you have some knowledge you acquired, either from learnings of mistakes, either from experience, from whatever, and you spread this across, and you find people succeeding. You find people that you don't even remember, because I meet a lot of people, I talk to everyone I see, and they are reflecting to you, connecting with you through your LinkedIn or mobile or email, reflecting that what happened from you, and you don't even remember, changed their life. The level of happiness in this area and the level of feeling, there is no words can tell you how it feels. That's what's really driving me, is getting people to really get the best out of them. I believe that everyone is a very unique creature with a lot of experiences and a lot of good values, but it's capped because of the mind barriers and the beliefs and how he was raised, how negative thoughts that came to him or her. But if you unconstrain the human brain and the humanity, we will never have any problems in the world. You'll not have poor people, you'll not have wars, you'll not have stupid things happening around. You'll find people, everyone is happy. I believe that people are awesome. Really, I love this word. People can do anything that they believe they can do, yeah? And I always come to this thing saying that if it doesn't happen before, that doesn't mean that it's impossible, yeah? It will always be impossible until someone do it. That's absolutely real. Until then, people believe that it cannot happen. Then somebody do it. Then people, so we can do that as well. And that's the beauty of the human being.
It's really inspiring. I'm always looking at you, on LinkedIn, and see that you're always trying to inspire people by your stories and that in that manner. But I believe that, again, there is a reason behind that, right? You have your reason. Something happened. That's why you start sharing on your LinkedIn and even out of LinkedIn. What was that reason?
Let me give you some back couple of day kids. Okay, so when I was young, I was like not kind of person that was very social and talking and it's like I was a bit like thinking. When I was baby, my mom used to say that I'm a kind of very nice baby to take care of because you leave it somewhere, it'll be thinking and reflecting and so on. Yeah, so it kept like this until and I was in the school. I was like 14 years in the same school from kindergarten till I graduated. So it's a very limited thing. Then I remember the first day I went into the university and I entered this big studying hall or whatever, and I see all these people. I don't know any one of them. And I believe that this was a change moment for me. It's like, I need to change because it's totally new people. So I started approaching different people. I don't know. Hi, this is me. I'm from this background and this school from this country. From the city. And who are you? Who is this? And I started finding that, knowing people and talking to others, you get a lot of experience. And if you have this kind of positive thing and with positive intention, you unlock people. Like you just penetrate them because you don't have something wrong. You just want to talk to them as a human. I think that's by nature. So that was a turning moment for me. But still, I think with the 20 maybe years of being always like closed and thinking and reflecting and always thinker, I found that I have a lot of values and things that I need to unlock and to say. It happened several times, not several, no, it's plenty of times, zillions of times, that I will be in a position or in a situation where people are discussing something and I can say, guys, you don't need to discuss it more. I think that's what you're looking for. And I found myself doubting, no, I'm not going to talk. Let me wait until they finish. I keep hesitating, yes or no. And it takes some time. And then I found, they reached the conclusion that I could have saved them if I say it. Yeah. I'm not saying that I always know the answer. It's not the case. But some of the conflicts or the discussions that you can find a midpoint. I always feel as well there is always a midpoint between any conflict between two people if they have the good intention. So discussions can reach to a conclusion if both are having the same purpose. So all this mix of things keep building inside me and putting huge pressure inside me. So it's like a volcano that, why are you keeping yourself? Why are you holding yourself not to add value to others? I was lucky when I got married that I got babies. So I try to raise them the best way I can. And I see it already paying off, alhamdulillah. But then I see people seeing something in me that I don't see. That people are asking me for stuff, not business, not sometimes social, sometimes opinions. I find myself sitting in certain situation which my age is not relevant to the situation I'm sitting in. I'm much younger to be asked for this kind of advices or things. I was like, okay, good. So people is giving me good reflection. So I was having self-doubt for sure. Yeah. And the most important thing that I keep reminding myself is to keep my self-awareness very high. So I need to know every time, like daily thing. I do this daily routine before I sleep. Like I do a kind of reflection, what I did, how can I be better than the day before, what learnings that I should do this. And I think one of the key magic things that I came to know it lately, like 5-7 years back, that there is a real enemy of growth. And this real enemy is hitting everyone in the world. And it is very simple as word, but it's very negatively impacting every one of us. And this is ego. Ego is the real enemy of us. If you get control of your ego, you get control of yourself. Ego prevents you from admitting things. Ego prevents you from accepting mistakes. Ego prevents you from changing yourself, transforming your thing. I look okay. I am bad. I did the right thing. They are mistake. It takes you into the blaming cycle. It takes you into the complaining cycle. So I found that ego is a magical hidden enemy inside each one of us. So I kept focusing in my ego that I'm killing my ego. I trained myself a lot to kill my ego. With all means you can imagine. I mean all means. Until I don't have this ego anymore. Sometimes I fail in it because sometimes it happens. I make some decision, because I like this to happen. And if it's driven by ego, I learn from it later.
But how do you control this? Because it's planted in our,
Yes.
because of the environment that we live in.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't know. As you said, that self-awareness could be one of that, but it's not easy to understand that, to reach this level of maturity, understand that this kind of self-awareness. How can we control ego? What are those steps that you are using it to control your ego?
That's a very good question, and it was not an easy thing to do. But I did a couple of things which I believe everyone should do as well. I read a hell of books about psychology, about understanding how my mind works, about neuro-linguistic programming. So I decode myself, just to understand what are my feelings, how does it reflect, what is the impact of what I'm doing on others. So I kept my discovery journey. It started early, but it became much more clear for me when I get older. But when I recall how I was treating myself and how I'm squeezing sometimes myself, pushing myself, I think this is one of the things that it's really helping me to kill my ego. Not being in the comfort zone. If I'm in a comfort zone, I question myself. It's why am I that in comfort? There must be something wrong. For me, one of the things is if you're not improving versus yesterday or versus the last year or versus last month, whatever it is, if you're not improving, then you are degrading. You're going back, and that's reality. Because if you look at the humanity in a bigger scale, the human creature today is totally different than the human creature 1,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Even the skills needed, it's totally different. One of the things which is maybe not relevant to this topic, but just popped in my mind, I know it's very common that people fight, huh? Physically they do fight, and these things, I've never been in fight. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know even if people say, oh man, come on, you don't ever get in fight. Be a man like this. I don't believe in it. I believe we have been selected as creatures to have a brain which is unbelievably capable. I'll give you an example. To create the ChatGPT. We created the ChatGPT, for example, yeah? So we created the ChatGPT and now we're afraid of it. But anyway, we'll come to that later. But our mind is a huge gift. But if our ego step in, your mind shut off, your emotional come up, and then you don't do the right thing. So I always keep this. I have emotions, but my emotions should serve my mind rather than the other way around. If your mind followed your emotions in the wrong direction as an anger, for example, if the emotion is an anger, you may take it to the second level, and then you start turning to be animals fighting and scratching each other, which will not help anyone. Because if you look at it, if people have disagreement on something, why will they fight? Give me one reason, or not reason, what will be the result if two people had an accident with a car and they came out and somebody said you're mistaken, the other one said no, you are the mistaken because you did this, and the other guy is saying it from the other side with different view, he is not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So they have opposite views, which is okay. Why should they fight? Will the person who win will be the right one? Will he convince the other one? No, but let's decode this. What's happening? They blocked their mind and their emotion grown up quickly and been fueled by the ego. I'm mistaken? No, I'm not mistaken. I'm a good driver. That's my ego now. Huh? I'm a good driver.
It's your mistake.
Yeah, it's your mistake. So it's blaming. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not taking the responsibility. And I think one of the posts I did earlier in the LinkedIn, that it was a reflection for something. I failed in something and I was reflecting and I went into the negative cycle. So accordingly, I said, no, let me say it. Let me admit it in front of everyone that we need to stop this ego. We need to train ourselves because I dropped in this cycle. That's what I'm saying. It's not 100% happening, but I'm aware when it happens. And I punish myself with this post. I put it in front of everyone. Guys, be careful because this is how it is. Don't be emotional. Don't get into the stress zone or in the comfort zone. Keep yourself in the stretch zone. Try to stretch the stretch zone so you're always growing rather than getting into the stress and your emotion takes over and then you're done.